No. Yeah, I don't. If we ever have a lightning strike, I don't want to be sitting down there next to her. The time for convening has arrived, so we'll start this evening's series of meetings. We'll start. The first meeting will be with the Public Facilities Authority. So I'd like to call this special meeting of the Sandy Springs Public Facilities Authority to order for Tuesday, October the 17th, 2023. Will the secretary please call the roll and make the announcements?
All right. Good evening. First, I would like to remind those in attendance to please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices at this time. As I call roll, please confirm your attendance. Chair Rusty Paul.
Present.
Member John Paulson. Member Melody Kelly. Member Melissa Mueller. Member Jody Rochelle. Member Tibby DiGiulio. Member Andy Bauman. Absent.
Is there a motion to approve the meeting agenda? Mr. DiGiulio.
I move approval of the meeting for Tuesday, October 17, 2023 of the Public Facilities Authority.
Motion by Mr. DiGiulio. Is there a second? Been moved by Mr. DiGiulio, seconded by Mr. Paulson, that we approve the meeting agenda for the Public Facilities Authority October 17th meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question is on approval of the meeting agenda. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The meeting agenda is approved. Next item of business is approval of the meeting minutes from the May 30th, 2023 Public Facilities Authority meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Rochelle.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes for May 30th, 2023 of the Public Facilities Authority.
I have a motion by Ms. Rochelle. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Rochelle, seconded by Ms. Mueller, that we approve the meeting minutes from May 23rd. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question is on approval of the meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The minutes are approved. Moving to new business, will the secretary please read the first item?
This is agenda item number PFA 2023-12. Consideration to approve a contract award to GC&E Systems Group, Inc. for the purchase of the building security systems for the police headquarters and municipal courthouse project, and to authorize the general manager to execute the contract. Presented by Director of Facilities and Capital Construction and Building Operations, Dave Wells.
Mr. Wells.
Good evening, Chairman Paul, members of the PFA. Before you tonight is a request for a contract award to GC&E for the building security systems for the police headquarters and courthouse project. GC&E is a state contractor that provides full-service electronic security systems. The city has utilized the services of GC&E for multiple city projects to maintain consistent processes and standards to ensure a cohesive citywide security infrastructure. On May 30th, 2023, the PFA approved a guaranteed maximum pricing for the direct construction costs for the police headquarters and municipal courthouse project. City staff concurrently introduced future costs for the project, which included pricing for the building security system in the amount of $1,054,790. GC&E has provided an updated proposal for the building security system in the amount of $960,375.41. This proposal includes the installation of the Genetec physical access control IP video surveillance systems, Duress buttons, video intercom units, Code Blue tower and IP intercom, fiber and fiber electronics, equipment and materials. There are adequate funds available for the described services in the capital project, the PF002. City staff recommends contract award be made to GC&E Systems Group for the purchase and installation of the building security systems for the police headquarters and municipal courthouse project.
You've heard the report of the Director of Facilities, Capital Construction, and Building Operations. What's the desire of the authority?
Chairman,
Dr.
Paul?
Kelly.
I move approval of this contract award to GC&E Systems Group for the purchase of building security systems for the police headquarters and municipal courthouse project, and to authorize the general manager to execute the contract.
You have a motion by Dr. Kelly. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Dr. Kelly, seconded by Mr. Paulson, that we approve agenda item PFA 2023-012 the contract award to GC&E Systems for the building security systems for the police headquarters and municipal court project. Any discussion?
I had
Dr. Kelly.
maybe two questions. Mr. Wells, did this have to be bidded out, or how did?
This is our state contract pricing,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Got it. And also, because I don't have a lot of experience with projects of this magnitude, what can we expect in terms of future business on this this particular project, or are we more or less done?
So this is one of the pieces of this project that was taken outside of the contractor, so we can manage the installation of it.
Okay.
The other piece is the FF&E package, and that's going to be a substantial amount too. That's all the furniture and fixtures of the building.
Okay.
And that was part of that memo for the GMP future costs.
Right.
It's
Okay.
not finalized yet, the pricing. Once we get that, that's what the office images. And once again, it's a state contract pricing, same contract that we use for this building for all of our furnitures and fixtures. So that'll come later, probably sometime early next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Paulson.
Dave, quick question, probably an obvious one. These folks are in sync with the schedule for the reconstruction of this building, so they can deliver on time as the building goes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. DiGiulio.
Dave, if I understand this correctly, excuse me, this does not include the fleet maintenance facility. This is just for the police and the court building. And are we doing a separate contract for the police?
We will be doing a separate contract. We broke the two projects apart after GMP. We broke the GMP documents apart, so there is, but it will be it'll probably be around $100,000.
Well, I figured it'd be less.
Mhm.
But when will that be coming to us?
That won't be coming to y'all. That'll be under the city manager's purview to approve. Be under $100,000, under $150,000.
So that'll be paid for by the city rather than by the public facility?
Well, it's still in the project, so it'll still be, it's within our threshold to approve the contract.
And so the city manager has the ability to approve it in the PFA, even though she's not an employee of the PFA? She's the general manager of the PFA. And the general manager of the PFA has the same 250 as the city?
150.
150 as the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I had a
Ms.
question.
Mueller.
Dave, question on the surge protection, because when I was looking, it said the surge protection was there for the cameras, but in the warranty, surge protection, if we have a claim, we couldn't have a claim if we had a lightning strike or something. So I'm assuming that there is, outside of cameras, we do have surge protection for the other equipment.
Yes, we have a complete UPS system for the
Okay.
building, yes.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item PFA 2023-012, the approval of a contract award to GC&E Systems Group for the purchase of a building security system for the police headquarters and municipal courthouse, authorizing the general manager to execute the contract. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. Is there a motion to adjourn the PFA?
Mr. Chairman, I move adjournment.
Mr. DiGiulio moves adjournment. Is there a second? It's moved by Mr. DiGiulio, seconded by Ms. Rochelle, that we adjourn the PFA. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned for that phase. Moving to the City Council agenda.
That was quick.
Yep, 8 minutes. I would like to call this meeting of the Sandy Springs City Council to order for Tuesday, October the 17th, 2023. Will the city clerk please make the announcements and call the roll?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a reminder to everybody in attendance to silence all cell phones and other electronic devices at this time. Individuals who would like to provide public comment at a City Council meeting are required to complete and submit a public comment card in advance of the meeting. Public comment cards are available online and at the chamber entrance. Those providing comment may be allotted up to 3 minutes to speak on their single chosen topic. As I call roll, please confirm your attendance. Mayor Rusty Paul.
Present.
Councilmember John Paulson. Councilmember Melody Kelly. Councilmember Melissa Mueller.
Here.
Councilmember Jody Rochelle. Councilmember Tibby DiGiulio.
Here.
Councilmember Andy Bauman, absent.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have we received any public comment cards?
Yes, we've received 4 this evening.
All right.
The first is Mary Ford, who will be followed by Karen Misen McInerney.
Ms. Ford.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Mary Ford, and I reside in Council District 5 on Timber Trail. I am here tonight to offer my comments both personally and on behalf of High Point Civic Association, where I serve as president. In the last meeting, I provided some comments related to our views on the proposed development code changes related to gas stations, and in the interest of being brief, I won't repeat that. Although I will say that we have continued to hear from our neighbors their concerns about those changes. Tonight, my comments are related to the changes proposed for ON, Office Neighborhood. As you know, this is a distinction that is, or a designation that is unique to our part of the city and has a lengthy list of uses that are allowed, which have been working quite well for situations like the Aqua Tots or the new location, the new senior living facility that is going up in place of the Coronet Club. We're concerned for the additions that would allow small retail and neighborhood eatery, because it opens up the possibilities for something like a vape shop or a convenience store, which we feel is not appropriate for the character of the neighborhood. We do specifically think about the implications for the corner of Windsor Parkway and Roswell Road. And envisioning an establishment like that, we feel, is not what we would want at basically what is the southern entrance to the city and a representation of the neighborhood. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Ms. Mines and McInerney. Who's next after that?
Bill Cleveland.
All right. Welcome back.
Thanks to you guys. Good evening. Karen Mines and McInerney, 4604 Meadow Valley Drive. I'm speaking on behalf of my 90-home subdivision Cherokee Park Civic Association regarding the development code. We are against adding residential infill through medium-density housing in our unique character area called Office Neighborhood. These proposed residential densities called Neighborhood Unit and Cottage Court as modified exceed the current townhouse developments we support as a more suitable transition zones to our single-family neighborhood. The rationale to deny these two additional, one additional and one higher density residential uses is because Roswell Road cannot be widened due to the extreme costs of the relocating the power lines. So it cannot support the traffic this density adds without a magic wand, including a northbound turn lane from Windsor to Roswell Road. With the new traffic generated from the proposed cottage court on steroids, that's what I call it, and the new uses called neighborhood unit, the traffic increases exponentially. To justify staff's proposal at a minimum, traffic studies are needed, especially the adverse effects of cut-through traffic into our protected neighborhoods like Cherokee Park, High Point. Specifically, we recommend denial of the proposed cottage court, which is contained in Article 6, General Rules, page 21. In lieu, we support sticking with the current cottage court standards. Staff's proposal is to remove the maximum 18-unit cap and allow reduction of the open space court. Plus, Section 10.4.18, additional street standards, allows up to 50 residential units to be constructed if only one outlet is used on an existing public street. All this traffic is coming through our neighborhoods unless you require these developments to use Roswell Road exclusively for access pursuant to a CUP, which could be an option for both these two uses. Finally, please deny totally neighborhood units up to 2 buildings of up to 12 each, as well for the same reasons. Additional density generates unacceptable levels on Roswell Road and protected neighborhood streets. Plus, these densities will ultimately destroy protected neighborhoods' character and quality, which could require the unacceptable and unintended steps like roads being blocked off, made into right turn only, or other traffic calming but negative impacts of forcing these medium higher density uses, when the real answer is to deny or preferred spend taxpayer dollars to add traffic light and intersection improvements like
Ms.
a right-hand
Monsonnak,
turn
you need to wrap it up.
northbound onto Roswell Road.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cleveland. And who's following him?
Susan Frazier.
All right.
Major, excuse me.
My name is Bill Cleveland, and I reside at 6441 Wright Road in Sandy Springs. I am the founder of Environment Sandy Springs and past president of the Whispering Pines Neighborhood Association. My comments tonight will focus on the relationship between extreme weather patterns and the loss of trust between communities and institutions. It is no secret that the communities across the globe have experienced extreme weather patterns. In 2023, Phoenix experienced 54 days of 110 plus temperatures, while record-breaking heat waves hit the Southwest during July of 2023. When local governments don't factor these extreme patterns into their policy considerations, they risk losing the trust of the communities they govern. The Sandy Springs staff proposal to allow rear lot construction entrances exemplifies how government can be its own worst enemy. It can facilitate and sponsor certain projects while they may seem harmless, actually erode trust in the long term. Everyone acknowledges that the staff's proposal will reduce tree canopy and won't mitigate the loss of tree canopy coverage for another 20 or 30 years. Wouldn't it be better to prepare for a warmer future by planting trees? If the proposal is a preview of things to come, then the city will gradually lose the community trust that is the bedrock of local government. However, this scenario is not inevitable. There is a role for local government in the fight against extreme weather. Local government could use their financial resources to identify suitable tree planting sites, determine the health of the trees in our watersheds, expand the residential right-of-way to 10 feet, and just generally fight to make our community both verdant and livable now and in the future. In closing, I would be remiss if I did not mention the need for public-private partnership that blends the planning expertise of private institutions, their financial resources, and their engagement activities with the public institutions' legal and political sensibilities. I thank you, and good night.
Thank you, Mr. Cleveland. Ms. Mazur. The next person up.
Oh.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Susan Mazur, 5350 Timber Trail. I've lived there for 32 years. I'm speaking tonight again concerning the development code, specifically office neighborhood. I know you can't see the zoning map, but office neighborhood is all the light blue in between the City of Atlanta line and slightly north of Glen Ridge Drive. In between, we have 3 large retail centers, the Gateway, Fountain Oaks, and the Prado, which is right over our border. All our retail is consolidated in those 3 centers. We are a neighborhood village on the character map. Please don't unravel all the years of hard work and community support we have here. To echo and add to what Mary was saying, our ON is working. We don't want retail added. I'd like to just list a few more ON examples for you guys. 5180 Roswell Road. You guys approved recently the Chabad Jewish State School. You approved it. We supported it. We even supported adding schools to ON to allow it. Another recent addition is a beautiful architect's building at 148 West Belle Isle. It's beautiful. It's right at the corner of Roswell Road. The 5 acres Mary mentioned where the Coronet Club was is slated for assisted living and medical. The new swim school at Mount Perrin called Aquatots. Schools are allowed in ON. A 3-story office building at 5009 Roswell Road. 3 stories. It was the first rezoning in Sandy Springs. It's pretty new, built in 2006. It just sold for $6.9 million, 36,000 square feet. Puppy Haven and Christmas Tree Lot at Windsor Parkway is ON. And lastly, my favorite building on our end of town, the Halpern Enterprise Building, which is ON. It's at the corner of Mount Perrin and Roswell Road. So in summary, ON is working. Please don't add retail or restaurant retail. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Major. All right, we'll close the public comment period. Thank you to all of our citizens being here. Is there a motion to approve the meeting agenda?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. DiGiulio.
I move approval of the meeting agenda for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023.
We have a motion by Mr. DiGiulio. Do I hear a second? Moved by Mr. DiGiulio, seconded by Mr. Paulson, that we approve the meeting agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on approval of the meeting agenda. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The meeting agenda is approved. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Ms. Rochelle.
Move that we approve the consent agenda for Tuesday, October 17th.
We have a motion by Ms. Rochelle. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Rochelle, seconded by Ms. Mueller, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on approval of the consent agenda. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda is approved. Moving to public hearings, will the clerk please read the first item?
Agenda item number 2023-290. This is ABL 103341. Consideration of an alcoholic beverage license application for WBP Sandy Springs, doing business as Perrine's Tasting Room at 5920 Roswell Road, Suite B108B, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328. Applicant is Perrine Marie Claude Pierre Gallardo for wine consumption on the premises and BYOB, presented by Chief Financial Officer Tony Carlisle.
Ms. Carlisle.
Mayor Paul and City Council, this is a new application for consumption on the premises wine, BYOB, WBP, Sandy Springs, LLC, DBA Perrine's Tasting Room, 5920 Roswell Road, Suite 108B, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328. The applicant, Perrine Marie Claude Prier Gallardo, has met all requirements and staff recommends approval. This is a new application and it is in Councilwoman Melissa Mueller's district.
All right, we received any public comment cards? We'll close the public comment period. You've heard the report of the Chief Financial Officer. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Ms. Mueller.
I move that we approve agenda item 2023-290 ABL 103341 for the approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for WBP Sandy Springs, doing business as Perrine's Tasting Room, 5920 Roswell Road, Suite B108-B, Sandy Springs, Georgia.
Motion by Ms. Mueller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Mueller, seconded by Dr. Kelly, that we approve agenda item 2023-290, the alcoholic beverage license application for Perrine's Tasting Room. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2023-290, the approval of the alcoholic beverage license application for WPB Sandy Springs, Perrine's Tasting Room. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-291. This is ABL 346, consideration of an alcoholic beverage license application for WBP Sandy Springs doing business as Perrines Wine at 5920 Roswell Road, Suite B108A, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328. The applicant is Perrine Marie Claude Pierre Gallardo. Retail package and wine tasting presented by Chief Financial Officer Tony Carlisle.
Ms. Carlisle.
This is also a new application for retail package and wine for WBP Sandy Springs LLC, DBA Perrines Wine, 5920 Roswell Road, Suite 108A, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328. The applicant is Perrine Marie Claude Prier Gallardo, has met all requirements and staff recommends approval. This is also in Councilwoman Melissa Mueller's district.
You've heard are any public comment cards? All right, we'll close the public hearing. You've heard the report of the Chief Financial Officer. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Ms. Mueller.
I move that we approve agenda item 2023-291, ABL 103-346, for the approval of an alcoholic beverage license application for WBP Sandy Springs doing business as Perrines Wine, 5920 Roswell Road, Suite B108-A, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30328.
We have a motion by Ms. Mueller. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Mueller, seconded by Dr. Kelly, that we approve agenda item 2023-291, the approval of the alcoholic beverage license application for WPB Sandy Springs DBA Perrines Wine. The applicant is Perrine Marie Claude Prier Gallardo. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Ms. Rochelle.
Is this a new, I tried to look it up on the map, is this like a new store near El Giallo, or where is this?
It's kind of near Bashuku and
Right.
the Mexican place on the end.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're not familiar, there she is back there. She runs one of the best wine stores in all of Metro Atlanta on Howell Mill Road.
Okay, I'm going to come see you.
If you are a French wine lover, she's the one to go see. So, well, good. We're delighted you're here.
Welcome.
I've been one of your customers, not weekly or even monthly, or even the last 6-8 months. But when I'm in Howell Mill, I've always stopped in. So we're just delighted you're here.
We should be opening at the end of this month.
Good. When I pulled up the other day, I was just delighted to see that pale blue sign up there. So it was good. All right. Any other discussion? All right. We'll call the question. The question's on 2023-291, the approval of the alcoholic beverage license application for WBP Sandy Springs DBA Perrines Wine, 5920 Roswell Road, Suite B108A. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved, and I wished I could have voted on it. All right. I close this public hearing. Will the go into new business? Will the clerk please read the first item?
Agenda item number 2023-292. This is consideration of reappointments to the Sandy Springs Development Authority, Tosh Battle and Sunny Park, presented by Mayor Rusty Paul.
We're going into appointment season, and this is the first of several that we'll deal with between now and sometime first of the year. I have a general rule that in the main that I appoint people to no more than 2 terms, but I also try not to appoint them to less than 2 terms. Ms. Battle and Mr. Park are finishing up their first terms as members of the Sandy Springs Development Authority, so they've been great members of the Development Authority, and so I am asking you to confirm their reappointment to the Development Authority. I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. But anyway, you've heard my report on the appointments. What's the desire of council? Dr. Kelly.
Yep. I'm sorry. I'll move the approval of the reappointments of Tasha Battle and Sunny Park to the Sandy Springs Development Authority.
We have a motion by Dr. Kelly. Is there a second? Second. Been moved by Dr. Kelly, seconded by Mr. DiGiulio, that we reappoint Tasha Battle and Sunny Park to the Development Authority. Any discussion?
You said their terms were 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Any other discussion? Hearing none, excuse me. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call the question. The question's on approval of agenda item 2023-292, the reappointments of Tasha Battle and Sonny Park to the Sandy Springs Development Authority. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-293. This is consideration of appointments to the Sandy Springs Board of Ethics, Joshua Heller, Bill Murray, and Eric Tillery. Presented by Mayor Rusty Paul.
Well, this is by the rules of the Ethics Committee and our own rules and those of the state. You can only serve 2 terms on the Ethics Commission. So we've rolled off Gary Alexander, Kim Gay, and Jeremy Becker. They've done a great job, served for a long time on the Ethics Board. This organization is kind of like the proverbial Maytag repair person. They meet quarterly, generally for about 5 minutes. I don't think we've had a single case before the Ethics Committee in the last 10 years, but our rules, and we are required to have one. And I try to appoint people, I like to put younger people on there because it's government with training wheels, and get some of our younger members in the community engaged in our government, and it's a great springboard to other service. I also like to have people who've actually studied ethics, and so we have Rabbi Heller and Reverend Murray, both of whom have degrees that involve the study of ethics. So I think we've got 3. I'm very proud of these 3 appointments. Mr. Tillery is a bright young man, has moved here to Sandy Springs in the last year or so. He's one of our inaugural members of the Leadership Academy. Really wants to sink his roots, and he and his family here in town, and so he approached me about getting involved, and this is a great way to do it. I think everybody here knows Rabbi Heller. And Rabbi Heller and Reverend Murray are reprising their roles on the Diversity Commission that we appointed. They did an amazing job on that, and so I'm asking them both to take on these 2 roles. So with that, for my report, what's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Mr. Paulson.
I move approval of agenda item 2023-293, appointment to the Sandy Springs Board of Ethics of Joshua Heller, Bill Murray, and Eric Tillery.
We've got a motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Dr. Kelly, that we appoint to the Sandy Springs Board of Ethics Rabbi Joshua Heller, Reverend Bill Murray, and Eric Tillery. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2023-293, the appointments to the Sandy Springs Board of Ethics of Joshua Heller, Bill Murray, and Eric Tillery. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-294. This is consideration of approval to declare surplus certain property owned by the city and directing disposal of the same. Presented by Chief Financial Officer Tony Carlisle.
Ms. Carlisle.
Mayor and Council, this request is seeking your approval to declare certain city property as surplus. The city's Public Works and Information Technology Departments has property which is outside of the service date and no longer of value for the city in its productivity. These exhibits provided, list all equipment for consideration of categorizing as surplus. The purchasing policy and code of ordinance directs our purchasing team to dispose of these items under the supervision of the city manager in the most advantageous manner. Choosing to move forward allows the purchasing team to make items available for sale, donation, or disposal. Declining the request requires us to maintain a storage location for this property. We're seeking approval of classifying these items as surplus.
You've heard the report of the Chief Financial Officer. What's the desire of council? Ms. Rochelle.
I move that we approve agenda item 2023-294, approval to declare as surplus certain property owned by the city and directing disposal of the same.
Motion by Ms. Rochelle. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Rochelle, seconded by Ms. Mueller, that we approve agenda item 2023-294, the approval to declare as surplus certain property owned by the city and directing disposal of the same. Any discussion? Mr. DiGiulio.
Tony, what kind of property are we talking about? What is this police property? Is this IT property? What are we?
So the Public Works property, these are traffic cameras that are outdated. And then for the IT equipment, these are phones and computers.
Any other discussion? This is kind of just an accumulation of things we've got that we need to move out.
Right.
Yeah. They've all are in the process of being replaced. Phones, we've just replaced all the phone systems here.
Right.
So. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on approval of the declaration as surplus certain property owned by the city. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-295. This is consideration to authorize the city manager to execute change order 1 to amend the existing contract with Atkins North America, Inc. as it relates to the Roberts Drive Side Path Scoping Study Project, presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Tonight, I'd like to ask your support for a change order with Atkins North America in preparation of a side path scoping study for the Roberts Drive side path. As you may recollect, the design for Tier 2 T-SPLOS 2021 side paths and sidewalks is included in Tier 1. Therefore, we have funds available. In this case, project number S2131-1 identifies funds available within Tier 1 T-SPLOS 2021 for design work for Roberts Drive side path. Atkins was awarded this contract in the amount of $141,436 to conduct the scoping study and to provide at that time 2 alternatives. Upon review of those 2 alternatives with the consultant, staff recognized that based on our most recent coordination with National Park Service, plus review of those alternatives, that a further alternative was warranted, and we were obliged to recommend that study. As well, we recognized that it's time to, that the study should have as well some graphics and renderings once we all accept and endorse a particular scope and a scope concept, to better communicate and coordinate the intent of this side path in the future. So with that, we recommend this change order for $60,950, $25,000 of it for the additional alternative, another $15,000 for the graphics, and updated cost estimates and reports within the budget of S2131-1, and award for a total scoping study fee of $202,386.15 to Atkins North America.
You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor
Mr. Paulson.
Move approval of agenda item 2023-295. 95. Authorize the city manager to execute change order 1 to amend the existing contract with Atkins North America as it relates to the Roberts Drive side path scoping study project.
You have a motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Dr. Kelly, that we approve agenda item 2023-295, authorizing the city manager to execute change order 1, amending the existing contract with Atkins North America related to the Roberts Drive side path. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Dr. Kelly.
Okay. Mr. Martin, would it be fair to say that these are changes that are being initiated sort of on our side?
Correct.
If I'm reading that correctly.
Dr. Kelly, yes.
Okay. And this was because it's under the 150, this wasn't.
It was originally awarded at 141, therefore
Right.
didn't require
It didn't come
approval
okay.
of mayor and council. So now we're above the city manager's statutory approval authority, therefore we come to you all.
Right. This is that situation. Thank you for confirming.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2023-295, authorizing the city manager to execute change order 1, amending the existing contract with Atkins North America related to the Roberts Drive side path. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-296, consideration of an amendment to the FY 2024 budget to fund the utility relocation costs associated with the Johnson's Ferry Road and Mount Vernon Highway Improvement Project. That's Project TS 191. Also presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and council, this agenda item is the precursor to the Next agenda item, which brings forward to you a Comcast aerial to underground relocation agreement for project TS-191 and the area around Veterans Park. So with this first proposed budget amendment, we're asking that $440,000 in capital contingency dollars be allocated to project CC6 in the interest of funding aerial to underground utility relocations associated with both the Veterans Park and project TS-191, the Roswell Road, Mount Vernon Highway, Johnson Ferry intersection project. You may recollect project CC6 was the funding vehicle for many of the aerial to underground relocations that have already taken place in and around City Springs, and the majority of the work currently funded with Georgia Power to conduct all of those aerial underground relocations is also within CC6. So it provided logic that we put all of these dollars in this same pot, in this case project CC6, for these last two aerial to underground relocations. As a separate status update on project TS-191, we do have the project advertised for bids now. We expect bids in late November, hope to in December bring award recommendations to you on the construction of that project.
All right, you've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. DiGiulio.
I move approval of item 2023-296, amendment to the fiscal 24 budget to fund the utility relocation costs associated with the Johnson Ferry Mount Vernon Road Improvement Project TS-191.
We have a motion by Mr. DiGiulio. Do I hear a second? Been moved by Mr. DiGiulio, seconded by Ms. Rochelle, that we approve agenda item 2023-296, the amendment to the FY24 budget for the utility relocation costs associated with the Johnson Ferry Road, Mount Vernon Highway Improvement Project. Any discussion? Ms. Rochelle.
So Marty, the wires haven't been buried yet, or some
That's
of them?
correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So Comcast work will follow in what's termed a joint trench with Georgia Power's work as they bury conduits and put their facilities underground.
So when I'm looking at the Veterans Park and going down Mount Vernon, almost all those wires are going to be underground?
Correct. So especially the wires you see currently resident on poles on Mount Vernon Highway, plus the wires that span from tower to tower on the Roswell Road frontage, plus a little further to the east, just before you get to the library, and a portion of Boylston at Mount Vernon Highway as well.
Those huge metal poles that were put up over there, what?
That then frees those up. So this is, if you recollect back in the spring, Georgia Power topped those poles. They moved the transmission to the new poles over there.
Okay.
So those wires remain, but on poles outside of Veterans Park now. So that's the transmission, which couldn't be buried. Distribution, Georgia Power will take care of, and that's attached as well to the remnants of those metal poles, and then Comcast and AT&T on those poles.
Any other discussion? All right, Dr. Kelly.
The capital contingency account, is that a T-SPLAST account?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's a operating or
Correct.
a capital.
It's city capital.
Right,
Yes, ma'am.
project account. Okay, so this doesn't represent like an increase in cost. This is essentially just moving.
Finding a different funding source for the utilities as we have the project, the T-SPLAST project, now out for bids to see where those bids lie or land when we finally do get the bids in.
Okay, thanks.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2023-296, amending the FY24 budget to fund the utility relocation costs associated with the Johnson Ferry Road, Mount Vernon improvement projects. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The items are approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-297. This is consideration to approve an agreement with Comcast Cable Communications for aerial to underground utility relocation as it relates to the Johnsons Ferry Road and Mount Vernon Highway intersection improvement project, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same. Presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
So, Mayor and Council, in this case, now that you've enabled funding within Project CC6, this is the aerial to underground agreement with Comcast to relocate those cables we just discussed a moment ago over on Mount Vernon Highway, Johnson Ferry, and Roswell Road.
You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Ms. Rochelle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ms. Rochelle, you're recognized.
Okay, sorry. I move that we approve agenda item 2023-297, agreement with Comcast Cable Communications for aerial to underground utility relocation as it relates to the Johnson Ferry Road and Mount Vernon Highway intersection improvements project, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
Motion by Ms. Rochelle. Do I hear a second? Been moved by Ms. Rochelle, seconded by Mr. DiGiulio, that we approve agenda item 2023-297, an agreement with Comcast Cable Communications for aerial to underground utility relocation. Any discussion?
Yeah, I did have one.
Dr. Kelly.
Back to that capital contingency account, I just want to make sure what the source of those funds are. Is that something that we, a part of the budget that we set annually? Is that where the funds come from for that?
Yes, ma'am. So there's an additional overhead, Tony, if I could class as such, referred to as capital contingency, where it as an should circumstances require that funds be allocated to other items not yet allocated out of capital. That's the go-to for those particular funds. Those funds would be the go-to for that.
Okay, and that comes.
It comes out of the capital contingency,
Right.
the 440,000 that
Yes,
we just
Right. I was just
approved.
wondering what goes in, like what the funding source was for it, but I think I understand now. It's
general funds.
It
It's
varies.
a budget line
Sandy
item.
Springs General Funds, yes.
that we, approved.
So it could be cost savings from other appropriated CIP projects. Those
Right.
dollars would then roll into the capital contingency line.
That's what I'm getting at.
And it carries
Thank you.
forward from year to year to year.
Right. That's exactly what I was looking
So-
for. Thank you.
Historically, when we close out a capital project, have funds remaining on it. When we close those funds
Right.
out, they
That
go
rolls
back
in.
to, surrender back to capital contingency until otherwise allocated.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we will call the question. The question is on agenda item 2023-297, approving agreement with Comcast Cable Communications for aerial to underground utility relocation related to the Johnson Ferry and Mount Vernon intersection improvement project. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. The clerk will please read the next item.
Agenda item number 2023-298, consideration of acceptance of an agreement to purchase fee simple right-of-way, permanent drainage easement, and temporary construction easement on property located at 325 Hammond Drive in Land Lot 70 of the 17th District, City of Sandy Springs. That's tax parcel ID number 170070LL0638, presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and Council, this real estate acquisition tonight is in furtherance of our Hammond Drive at Boylston intersection improvement project. And in this particular property, 325 Hammond Drive, is located at the southwest quadrant of that intersection, that being the intersection of Boylston and Hammond. In this case, 325, we need to acquire some 1,130 square feet of fee simple right-of-way, another 857 square feet of permanent drainage easement, and 1,912 square feet of temporary construction easement in order to construct project T58-1, the Boylston Drive and Hammond Drive intersection improvements project. The city's appraised fair market value for that real estate acquisition was $161,900. Staff was able to reach an amicable settlement with the owners in the amount of $169,700. With the balance of the, for that total amount of $169,700. This acquisition reflects the minimum amount of right-of-way required in order to deliver the desired project, that alignment of Boylston North and South with the Southern Drive and the four-leg intersection, signalized intersection there. With that, staff recommends approval of the purchase and sale agreement.
You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul.
Ms. Mueller.
I move that we approve agenda item 2023-299 for the approval of a contract. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Never mind. Sorry, strike that one off.
I knew one of us were ahead, but I wasn't sure which.
No, I was Move that we approve agenda item 2023-298 for the acceptance of an agreement to purchase fee simple right-of-way, permanent drainage easement, and temporary construction easement on property located at 325 Hammond Drive in Land Lot 70 of the 17th District, City of Sandy Springs, tax ID number 17-0070-LL063-8.
Got to have a motion by Ms. Mueller. Is there a second? Motion by Ms. Mueller, seconded by Dr. Kelly, that we approve agenda item 2023-298, acceptance of an agreement to purchase fee simple right-of-way, permanent drainage easement, and temporary construction easement at 325 Hammond Drive. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Questions on agenda item 2023-298, acceptance of an agreement to purchase fee simple right-of-way, permanent drainage easement, and contemporary construction easement at 325 Hammond Drive. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. Moving to the next item, the clerk will please read the item.
Agenda item 2023-299. This is consideration to approve a contract award to SCA Construction to construct the 5185 through 5200 Falcon Chase Lane Pond Rehabilitation Project, presented by Public Works Director Marty Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor and Council, in this case, tonight we bring forward to you a construction contract award recommendation to SCA Construction for the rehabilitation of the Falcon Chase Lane Pond. In this case, the city has responsibilities for maintenance and repair of the Falcon Chase Lane Pond. And to that interest, the city engaged an engineering firm in 2021 to develop plans for the removal of accumulated silt and sediment and pipe rehabilitation of the stormwater pond located between residences 5185 and 5200 Falcon Chase Lane. The project aims to restore diminished capacity inside the pond and rehabilitate the existing structure. Some of the work involved includes removing and haul off of some 470 cubic yards of accumulated sediment, repair of existing inlet flume, install a 12-inch pipe and head wall, improve existing outlet control structure, install an overflow weir trash rack, rehabilitate the outlet pipe with the spin cast method, and install a new chain link fins and gate. On August 9th, the city issued an invitation to bid, 24-1010, seeking bids from qualified contractors. 3 responses were received on September 18, 2023, with SCA Construction at $375,851.88 being the apparent low, responsive, and responsible bidder. It compared favorably with the projected estimate provided for the project engineer for this project, and as well, staff conducted a resume search of SCA Construction. We had not used them before, and had good reports from their clients. So with that, those good reports, closeness to the engineer's estimate, and a good bid in front of us, we recommend award to SCA Construction.
You've heard the report of the Public Works Director. What's the desire of council?
Mayor Paul,
Dr. Kelly.
I'll move approval of a contract award to SCA Construction to construct the Falcon Chase Lane Pond Rehabilitation Project.
We have a motion by Dr. Kelly. Is there a second? Been moved by Dr. Kelly, seconded by Ms. Rochelle, that we approve agenda item 2023-299, approving a contract award to SCA Construction for the 5185-5200 Falcon Chase Lane Pond Rehab Project. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on agenda item 2023-299, a contract award to SCA Construction for the Falcon Chase Lane Pond Rehab Project. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is approved. That wraps that up. We'll go to reports. Got a few things to talk about tonight. I think most everybody here was here Tuesday night for the rally in support of Israel. Probably far and away the largest event we've ever had on this campus. We had, the major theater was full. This theater was full. And they told me 2,500 people, and we had way more than that once everybody got out there. Who knows? Probably 3,000 or 4,000 people, plus almost 7,000 people streamed it from New York to New Orleans to Israel. And I tell you, we've never had an event here that got the community reaction that I think that event did. I mean, it's just been, and I'm glad we were able to host it. And I want to salute our staff, Eden, Chief DeSimone, his team, and Bill Haggett and his team, everybody, all the first responders who were here, the outside law enforcement agencies who came in and helped provide the security. The security was, as people commented on it, and they talked about how safe they felt coming here. There were a lot of very nervous people at first about should we even go. And so once they got here, they felt totally safe, and it went off without a hitch. More importantly, it was the reaction of the community that I think was the most important part, is the feedback and the reaction that we got. I will be leaving tomorrow for 3 days in Washington, D.C. I've been invited to a mayor's conference by the Bloomberg Philanthropies to look at artificial intelligence and how municipalities are using it. And this is a cutting-edge tool that a lot of people are looking at. I'm really excited to be able to be part of that conversation in the group and to bring maybe some ideas back that we can utilize. We had our last concert on the green the other night. Unfortunately, the weather was pretty bad. I felt really bad for the performers, but the people who stayed out there had a magnificent time. There was a great concert, great people, great performers, and I'm glad we were able to do that. Fiddler on the Roof is still going on in the theater here in the Performing Arts Center. Had an opportunity to go to Temple Sinai and hear two of the actors. One everybody knows, Courtney Collins, talked about how she prepared for the role and some of the things. But the actor who is Tevye was phenomenal. I told him, I ran it, the Friday night as he was coming in to get dressed, he was walking by and I stopped him and told him his story was amazing. His personal story was amazing. And to be able to hear him talk about how he used his personal life's experience. He's down here largely because the actor's strike, he had the time to come, and he really had always wanted to perform this role. And so he did, and he's phenomenal. Absolutely. The whole cast is phenomenal, but he's on the stage almost the whole time, so he does a great job. Coming up, Veterans Day on the 10th. We'll have our normal Veterans Day celebration with one added twist, and that is we'll be dedicating the new Veterans Park across the street during that day. So we're all excited about that and looking forward to the opening of that. And looks like we're probably going to make it, don't you think? All right, good. We're going to make it. The deadline. I know they've been working hard over there. I've never seen a group of people work so hard in all my life to try and get that deadline met. And I drove by one day. I said, I think there was one contractor, one construction worker per square foot out there trying to get it done. So I want to say thanks to Reeves Young for all their hard work. Last thing on my list, I had also the opportunity. The U.S. Conference of Mayors was here in the metro area in Buckhead. Mayor Dickens of Atlanta hosted a public-private partnership. The Conference of Mayors has started a new committee to look at how communities can do a better job of using public-private partnerships. And so I thought I'd go along just to see what they, what they were talking about and how they did it. And it was great. I mean, there's a lot of it was focused on the infrastructure. But we got to shout out one of the senior staff members of the Conference of Mayors. After I got through making my presentation, each one of us had to present a P3 project, and I had a lot to choose from, but I chose this particular campus. And she said, when I finished, she said, it's great to have the king of P3 here presenting. So we're recognized across the country for our public-private partnership expertise, and so that was great. But it was good. It was a good 2-day meeting with mayors from across the mostly the southeast, but other parts of the country as well. And so it was pretty enlightening. There's some exciting things that going on with P3, and we're always interested in doing that, and maybe an opportunity for us to do some, kind of get back to our roots too. That's what I've got. Does anybody else have anything?
I do.
Ms. Rochelle.
I just want to add to what you said about the Solidarity Rally, and this comes from Andy. He's not able to be here, so he wanted me to pass on his words, and also for me is to thank everybody that was involved in this. Eden, you did such an amazing job on such short notice, and Rusty. And I also want to thank Andy, because he did such a great job too. And Chief, I can't even tell you how many people have said to me how they feel safe in our community, and I've been in touch with several of the synagogues recently, and been there personally, and it just says so much for our city that people feel safe enough to come here and enjoy such an event. Well, not enjoy, but to be a part of such a solidarity event here. And I just want to thank everybody again, and thank everybody on council for being here and supporting the community.
Well, it was a great event. In fact, some of our friends in the Western Galilee, I heard from them, they had family members here. Yael Ron Ben Moshe, who was the head of economic development and tourism for the Western Galilee and then was elected to the Knesset. She had family members here who took pictures of the event, sent it to her, and talked about what I said, other people said, and she said she got very emotional when she saw what her friends in Sandy Springs had done for their country, and she's up in they're all in the extreme north. They're on the Lebanese border, and so they're watching very carefully the blue line about what may be happening up there as well. And so everybody's on, very. It was just a savage attack that occurred, and everyone in Israel is in sorrow, and also on pins and needles, wondering what's going to happen next. So it's with all the friends that we have in Israel, it's something that's very personal to many of us. But thanks, Jody, for that. Anybody else? All right, the unaudited financials, Ms. Carlisle.
Good evening again. Okay, so we're looking at August 2023 unaudited financials. We are at 16.67% of the new fiscal year. The revenues are at 5.21%, and the expenditures are at 43.22% of the budget. On pages 4 through 6, you'll find the trend of interest earned from Georgia Fund 1 and Truist for FY23 and FY24, and it looks like my print cut my totals off, so we'll have it on the next, on the September report for everybody to see the total interest earned for FY23. We are 2 months into the fiscal year. The revenues are as expected. We're beginning to see the property taxes come in this month, October. We get the largest portion of the property taxes in November. As of this report date, departments are managing their expenditures as budgeted. This concludes the report for August 2023.
Thank you, Ms. Carlisle. Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Dr.
I just
Kelly.
want to, because I'm just looking at it. Would you be willing to just confirm what the project number is for the Roberts Side Path project? I'm just trying to make sure.
Let me see if I can search it really quickly.
Yeah, for the Roberts Side Path. Because I know the agenda packet said 2131, so I wanted to make sure that I had the right number. Thank you.
That's 2221.
Okay.
It's on page 37.
Right. So the.
Should be the design project in tier 1.
So 2131 is the design. Okay, because it says it's the Mount Vernon Bridge enhancement. So because they're on the same page. So it's just want to make sense. Just wanted to.
So let us double check that. 2321, according to this, is Powers Ferry Side Path, and Roberts is S2221, but you're asking about Roberts.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, keep
for
an
you.
eye on that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else? All right. We have, if you've been tracking state revenues, they have started trending downward. So we're going to have to kind of keep a close eye on our revenues going forward, making sure we stay within our means. So if we have to make some adjustments mid-year, we'll be prepared to do that. We've had two months to do not a trend to make, but They have been trending downward. The revised numbers for the last 2 months have been revised downward after they first went out. So the economy may be finally beginning to soften a little bit under the weight of the Federal Reserve's interest rate hike. So we'll just have to keep an eye on our revenues, particularly those generated by consumer sales. All right. Is there a motion to move into executive session?
Mayor Paul,
Mr. Paulson.
I move that we suspend regular order, move into executive session for the purposes of real estate and litigation.
Have a motion by Mr. Paulson. Is there a second? Motion by Mr. Paulson, seconded by Mr. DiGiulio. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on the suspension of regular order and go into executive session. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are in executive session. As is our normal habit, we will go into executive session. We will come back here and return to regular order and adjourn. There'll be no further business conducted this evening. Thank you. I want to welcome you. I have been accustomed. let's see, we need a couple more.
You're on, John.
Have a motion by Mr. Paulson to recess or to adjourn the executive session, return to regular order. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. DiGiulio. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. The question's on return to regular order. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Mr. DiGiulio.
I move adjournment.
Mr. DiGiulio moves adjournment. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Paulson. All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. We are adjourned, 7:29. No. That wouldn't qualify. It's called sporting breeds.
Sporting, yes, hunting dogs, basically.
Basically, it's so that